I had a chance to speak with Kim Dotcom in New Zealand, who is going to launch a replacement for the internet called Meganet. It'll be entirely encrypted, and he'll crowdfund it, raising $100 million.
Kim Dotcom, welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, baby. This is Max in London. Welcome to London.
Hey!
Yay, Kim, everybody's been waiting for you.
And we wanted to ask you a few questions. First of all, as I alluded to earlier, I have downloaded and read this white paper, Megalode, the Copyright Lobby and the Future of Digital Rights. I think this is an extremely important document because your fight and your what's going on there now is really between you versus the copyright lobby in the broadest terms. And before this all happened, Kim Dotcom, this is all new to you after this raid by the MPAA started. This is something new that you've learned, how rapacious and how vicious this lobbying group is. We have some warriors in this space like Lawrence Lessig, Aaron Swartz, of course, and now you've entered the battle. So just first of all, can you spend a couple of minutes talking about this white paper and how you frame your case in this way, Kim Dotcom?
Yes. Well, it's a novel case. It's a case of first impression. Something like this has never happened before. And the MPAA hired former Senator Chris Dodd, who has, a lot of political clout, was a senator for a couple of decades. And he used his political connections in the White House to further SOPA. You all might remember that piece of legislation that Hollywood wanted to have, which basically allows them to censor any website without any due process and shut down websites and take over domains. And because of a giant internet protest, Chris Dodd could not see the act pass, and despite a majority for SOPA, because of those internet protests, that majority vanished, and he lost that battle to give Hollywood a new law. Plan B was to send a strong signal around the world that US law enforcement is taking piracy seriously, and I was picked as the target of choice to, basically destroy the entire website, put us all in jail, shut us all down, and again, no due process. No hearing, nothing. All my global assets were seized. I was thrown in jail. I was raided by an army of 72 cops, some of them from an anti-terror unit over here in New Zealand, arriving in helicopters, all armed with assault rifles, and some of them brought attack dogs and things like that. And all of this because of Chris Dodd and his political connections. And he threatened the White House just before Obama's re-election campaign. And that was after he was angry about the development around SOPA. He threatened openly in a Fox interview Obama and said, well, if you want to keep your job, you need to make sure I can keep my job. And if you want to have money for your campaign, you need to make sure that you take our concerns seriously. And it was an open threat. And Hollywood, everyone needs to know, is quite powerful in the White House, because all these Hollywood studios, they control a significant part of the media in the United States. Actually, they control 90% of the US media. And in addition to that, the White House or Obama has raised over $120 million from his supporters in Hollywood. So this is a big amount of money. This is a huge amount of influence that Hollywood had. And they basically pushed the button and put pressure on the White House. And Joe Biden, who is Chris Dodd's close friend, put his own lawyer who worked for him for 4 years when Biden was still a senator, he put him in the DOJ, in the Department of Justice. And this same guy, was in charge of, Operation Takedown, they called it, the destruction of mega upload. So this is a highly political case. There isn't even a law that allows the US government to indict a foreign company. Mega Upload was based in Hong Kong, had no subsidiary in the United States, and they indicted it anyway. And there's not even any basis in law to charge me because of secondary copyright infringement, because they are not saying that I am the pirate, that I am the one who took movies, copied them, and put them on my website. They are making me responsible for the actions of our 100+ million users. They are saying it's my responsibility and I should go to jail for what those guys have done on our website. So it's a completely mind-blowing, unique situation, and I've been fighting this for 3.5 years. We have fortunately been winning quite a bit in the courts. I won my bail, so I was out. Then they restricted me from going online for 3 months. I couldn't use the internet, so we fought that. I got my internet back, and that is when I started my big fight, my comeback. I made the Mr. President video, putting them on the spot for their corruption. And I started Mega, which is a new cloud storage site that is fully encrypted.
Okay,
And
let me.
on top of that, I started a political party.
Let's set that up a little bit. So in other words, as you describe it, you're on your comeback. As I tweeted recently, woe to the politician that gets in the way of an entrepreneur, because they will become disintermediated. And you have a proven track record as an entrepreneur, as a technological visionary. So let's talk about Meganet, because you and I chatted briefly about Meganet. It's obviously, you don't want to disclose too much about it because it's going to be obviously competing out there with the world. But can you talk about Meganet and the fact that, as we've described it, starting in January, we're going to put it up on Bank to the Future, crowdfund this over Simon Dixon's platform. It's going to be a $100 million project, crowdfunded equity platform, the biggest ever in history on Simon Dixon's platform. So Meganet, Kim Dotcom, what is it?
Meganet is an alternative internet. It's a new internet. And it's completely decentralized, not IP-based. We are utilizing the blockchain to crystallize files and recreate them. It's a completely new way to communicate, a completely new protocol that will make denial of service attacks a thing of the past, hacking a thing of the past, censorship and government control a thing of the past, and most importantly, mass surveillance a thing of the past. It's quite a significant undertaking to replace something as big as and important as our current internet. But after the Edward Snowden revelations came out, it was very clear to me that the internet as we know it will not survive. There will be an arms race of governments around the world that all want to have the same capabilities like the NSA. We, the public, when we heard about it, we were like, wow, this is horrible. We have no more privacy. They are undermining our rights. But the people in power in all these different countries, they heard about it, and what they said is, well, we need that too. So I need to stop that. I don't want that to happen. I want there to be an alternative where we can still be free, communicate in private. And that's why, quite some time ago, I got on this journey to find the new internet, and I'm working on it.
Let's talk about Edward Snowden. And of course, Edward Snowden would never have been heard from if there wasn't something called encryption. And encryption technology, which allowed for him to communicate with Glenn Greenwald and to communicate with the outside world. And now we know that encryption is the basis for Bitcoin. And I know you've been tweeting lately that there is a Bitcoin or blockchain play as part of Meganet. So here we are, we're in London, we're at a crypto crowdfunding event here in Hoxton. And so people are very much interested in crypto. Can you comment a little bit about because you've been doing this now for 3.5 years. During that 3.5 years, Bitcoin has become huge, exploded, and et cetera. It's a huge technological event. Can you talk about crypto, Bitcoin, and how you see that fitting in a little bit?
So first of all, we are only going to operate on Meganet with cryptocurrency.